I was told I couldn't bear weight for 8 weeks, and after coming off of that, I couldn't even bend my foot at all. And I found out Esther had the ankle flex. I got one of the first ones right here. I started working with her virtually, and within 2 weeks, I went from initially I had had -5 degrees of flexion. Then she helped me get to 3 degrees of flexion, and then in a very concentrated period of 2 weeks to 11 degrees of flexion. And so much so that when I went back to my doctor at 3.5 months, he said that I didn't need to come back for my 6-month appointment because I had exceeded what he had hoped I'd be doing, and was even shocked I could walk without assistance at 3.5 months. And he said gaining that flexion early on was so critical because it gets so much harder if you don't get it up front. Even through what my PT said, and my PT was also so impressed. He had given me a similar exercise, but I couldn't quite get the same degree of push and flexion with that because I couldn't hold my ankle down and also get my calf forward without the ankle flex, and that made dramatic difference. Now I can even hike up to 3,000 feet vertical in month 4 of recovery, and I can walk up to 15 miles and more. Yes, I still have stiffness, but I'm really getting close to that 15 degrees of flexion that I have in my other foot. The ankle flex is great because it really pushes you. If you do it daily, and you can't go to PT daily, but if you do this daily, you do feel the incremental improvement, and you see the results from week to week. And it just gives you a much better discipline when you're doing it daily. And I found that even though my PT gave me exercises, they weren't giving me as much flexion, and he was doing a lot of hands-on work, but he didn't have the strength or the force and the ability to get the same bend and flexion as the ankle flex was giving me. You should know this can work for anyone at any age. It's extremely cost effective because I gained more mobility than I did in 4 PT sessions, which it's the equivalent cost of 4 PT sessions, and it's more than worth it. And frankly, I think I'm going to be using it for the rest of my life for both of my ankles.